Hello there, it's Mike.
And it's Katie.
Today is episode 127. And what will we be talking about today, Katie?
Today it's vampires in leather.
On this week of Cup of Rad. Hey, everyone.
That was like a serious introduction.
We needed to get the documentary style feel for today's episode, and my phone just went off.
So, dude, we're doing serious things here, and we have
a phone going off.
What in the heck?
Usually, I'm much more prepared.
You know what? At least it's pop culture-y sounding. So,
Yeah, you know what? Everyone always thinks it's Kim Possible.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, you don't know your Power Rangers. Get out of here. Be gone with you.
I guess, if they don't know Power Rangers at all, but really, they jump to Kim Possible. That's the likely thing that you actually
because it has the beep sound too, right?
Oh, okay.
That's the thing, right? So the beep 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 beep.
Gotcha. I have the Mandalorian sound when you text me, and it's like so epic.
Well,
it makes me so happy.
Everyone should have an epic ringtone for me when I call them.
I know, right?
Message them.
And it's like, oh, it's Mike. How exciting.
Yeah, right? That's how you should feel every time I message you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Mike. Oh. Hello.
Why, hello there.
Excited, right? Now, someone needs to have the hello there. Right?
I know, we should make that into a ringtone.
Yeah.
Like a notification. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, there you go.
Why have I not done this?
I don't know.
Huh.
Hello there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Oh my goodness. Okay. We should advertise, download now. The
Hello there.
notification.
Right?
No, you'll probably get flagged for copyright because you sound like similar to
I don't sound similar at all. Not even
You can custom hello there's.
Yeah, right? Hit me up
like,
and I'll...
Hello there, Katie. You have your name, right? See? And then it's not copyright because then it's like very specific you. Right?
Okay. Yeah, right?
Hello, this is Cup of Rad.
Yeah.
Anyways, how are you guys?
Are you asking me or asking them?
No, I'm giving them a chance to respond.
Oh, okay.
How are you, Mike? Yeah. Now see, we're having a conversation.
With who? Them or me?
You, me, you, them?
What's going on? Who are you and where's my horse?
Right? I'm good.
That's what Mike's tombstone is going to read, by the way.
Who are you people and where's my horse?
Yep. That's all it's going to say.
Not even my name.
No, it's just going to be that.
Who are you people? Who is this?
The people that really matter and know him, love him, understand. You'll turn into a legend. You'll be like this epic tombstone in the future that everyone will wonder what the story is, and there is no story.
Then we'll have to start planting a story.
And we'll just be, we need to create the legend now.
Legend in the history books now.
Well, yeah.
And then when I do eventually die, which is going to be never.
Yeah, we know that already.
I'm going to become immortal. And
you would, wouldn't you?
I like how there's like anger in your voice when you say that. It's not even like, yeah, that's awesome. It's like, no, you would, wouldn't you? Yeah, the guy that wants to be alone,
right?
Becomes immortal.
Yeah.
Well, there's more proof that I'm actually Wolverine.
There is that, true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start the podcast instead of hello there with, hey, bub. Right?
New one.
Yeah, just
I like it.
Just something.
Start living the Wolverine persona a little bit more.
And
hashtag Wolverine life.
Need me some cigars then.
Right? Me drinking some tea here. Geez, Wolverine doesn't drink tea.
He had a Ronin life.
Oh, okay, you're right.
So...
Anyways.
I'd have to poke out my eye, though, but that would be kind of weird to have an eye patch.
It would. You can just pretend to wear an eye patch.
Just for a month, I'm going to wear an eye patch. What happened to your eye?
A lot of things. I can't explain it right now, or I'd have to kill you.
Yeah, I like it.
So adventures we went to Toy Traders last weekend. which was pretty fun. Well, we had other supplies. So it was a supply run, as we mentioned last weekend. So some cool stuff came in that we got to check out. I'm still humming and hoeing over the commando spawn.
There's no humming and hoeing. It has been decreed. It's not happening. It is home is at Toy Traders or some other lucky person. But no, there is no humming and hoeing over it at all. It's done. It has been. It is done. He looks like he's gonna he doesn't know.
No, I was actually like waiting for the I have spoken. That's where I was going. I'm thinking I have spoken.
I have spoken.
Right. You know, because as Mr. Bunch laughed at my 7-inch comment from last week. I
missed this. Please do tell.
But just our when I was like, that where you laughed at me because I said it's 12 inches. I don't know if I want to get it. If it was 7 inches, I'd be all over it, right? Like,
okay,
It's all coming back to you.
It's
all coming back to me
now.
There you go. So
had to drop some Canadian music in there,
right?
Anyways, 12-inch.
You just got to go there. You just
I do.
You know what?
You were talking about something 12 inches.
So, Katie talked me out of buying it. So,
I don't know why. Actually, now that I think about it, no.
Talked me out of buying it?
I'm just joking. I'm going on
you could handle the 12 inches.
A whole nother tangent, right?
So, yeah, you're in a new realm.
No, it's too much. It's unnecessary. I think I've made him blush.
She convinced me that it was smart to wait for the actual line of figures.
Well, these are my reasoning is because he likes to use the dioramas. He does not have a diorama for something that large. And he also likes to pose them with like fighting and opposing things. And he doesn't have any of those. So he needs to wait so then he can have things all multitudes of the same character in one. If he was just buying one spawn and that was the spawn he was getting, then it's awesome looking. Like it was totally cool.
Yeah.
But he likes to have multiples of things to group together, and that is not an option with that. So
that was her convincing.
I'm right. So, yeah.
I have spoken. And we're off this topic. So I didn't pick anything up at Toy Traders, but Katie did.
I got an Aurora Disney Princess Ultimate
Pop.
Disney's Ultimate Princess Celebration. These Funko Pop line have like gold metallic embossed decoration on the boxes. Like they're so over the top. But the pop is amazing, and it's Aurora in her forest. I mean, it's her outfit for the bulk of the movie, so that's what's cool. It's like no different than getting Ariel as an actual mermaid versus just in her wedding dress or something. And she comes with the creatures, and she has a little like meadow base, and it's awesome. I didn't want to get the Ariel because it's not different enough. Like I have Aurora in her pink gown with a crown, like the original one, and I posted a picture. I think I shared
put on the
it,
share on the story.
And of the then and now type thing, and it's quite a stark difference. Like you don't realize how yellow her hair was until you see the blonde highlighter, now, and it's like, wow, it was highlighter yellow.
Yeah,
and it's so funny how blonde in toys was so much just neon like that and yellow, and blonde hair is not yellow.
No,
and so that was very exciting. And we also got a Kong.
You did get a Kong.
With a battle axe.
Yeah, the battle axe.
I wanted the 10-inch Kong, but it's really expensive and it's big, and I don't know where to put it.
The biggest thing is it's big,
but it's so pretty.
It's like massive.
But then we need a Godzilla to go with it, and I don't know where the hell we're gonna put those.
The 10-inch Kong and Godzilla. No. So I vetoed that. That's why she vetoed my spawn, was because I vetoed her 10-inch Kong. So she was out of spite.
There we go. You caught me right there. Yeah. No, we didn't get the Godzilla because they only had the like fire breathing Godzilla, and it was a bit more expensive, and it's a little unnecessary for it. I'd rather just get the regular
one because at least it looks more like they'd be battling, because the fire breathing, he's like, it's not breathing out, it's breathing down to the ground.
Yeah, so it's more just like causing destruction, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna see if we can get that one. But the Kong was the one I really, really wanted. So
Yeah, I think that's what you cared about. You didn't care about Godzilla. You
No,
just
I
want
don't.
Kong.
yeah,
You want all the Kongs.
I do. Well, he's all like battle scarred too, and so that was pretty cool. So we got that.
Yep. So that was
Kiddo.
pretty fun. Kiddo finally got his Zoro or Zolo statue, depending on what you do for One Piece.
Yeah.
If you watch the...
So one is named that in the anime and one's in the manga, right?
Yeah, Zoro's in the anime, Zolo's in the...
I guess he
the
really
manga.
knows it from the manga, so that's what he should call it.
That's what he does call it. He
Zoro?
refuses to call it Zoro.
Okay, so Zolo.
Yeah,
I like Zolo better.
so...
I think that's different, right? So that statue is amazing, though.
Yeah.
Like it's so cool because he's got his like his coat is all like flowing off the back, and he's got all the swords, and he's just like super actiony. It's so cool, so cool.
Oh yeah, he was super happy with it. And the Band Pesto line is really impressive for what it is. If you just getting like a character.
Yeah.
There's so many of them too, and they're not bad price in reality when it comes down to it. For,
The detail and everything,
the paint
right?
that's on it. So
Yeah.
no, totally cool. He's super happy because he's got his Luffy and he's got Nami on his little shelf, and he's got all those like module build like ships too that he has. So he's got a whole little like
Little
One Piece
shelf.
shrine.
Then, but he's got his omnibus books in the back there.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool.
So he was really excited to be able to get that because he's been dying to get a Zolo.
Well, if anything, like
Right.
He really loves that character. So.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
that was
all
fun.
we got, right? Yeah, we got the two
Yeah.
pops, and then we got
Nice and simple.
yeah.
So, because but I did we ended up. It was a Toys R Us exclusive.
Yeah, I didn't feel too bad of him not getting into Toys R Us because he already had a toy pre-ordered waiting at curbside pickup at Toys R Us.
Yeah, because it was part of their exclusive. It was the blue Mandarin spawn to go with my
So pretty.
red Mandarin. So it's really cool looking. And the reason usually I don't get variants, but it had differences to it.
Well, because it's not just a different color.
Yeah.
It's completely different. It's the same theme, but it's completely different.
It has a different weapon, a different mask, a different crotch guard.
Yeah, I don't know what else to call it. It's a skirt-looking thing.
Yeah. So there's a different extra sculpting. It's not just painted differently.
Yeah.
So that's why I was really excited to get it because it just looks really cool too. So I got my two like Mandarin sentries on either side of my Mortal Kombat
Right?
spawn.
They look like guards or something.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for that. They just look really cool. Like, so it just has me excited. I'm just still dying, and I know I said multiple times for Todd to get his act together and get the spawn line officially announced.
Yeah, because that's all he talks about now is McFarlane this and McFarlane that.
Well, I've read 15 volumes of the
So it is his life now.
That's all I'm reading right now. My goal is to get read up to the current, right? Like,
When Kiddo is obsessed about things, I can see where he gets it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just so you know.
I am just amounting a wealth of knowledge.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Eventually, my useless knowledge will come forth and be bountiful and plentiful to my life.
Well, you know what? It has created this wonderful podcast. So look at there.
There you go. You get to be inside my head. So here's a weird thing for you. There is no Thundercats weekly review.
Right?
That was
Well,
very
between
strange.
going out on the weekend down to our jaunt, and then we had a cat emergency. We had to clean things.
Our cat sharded.
It was horrible. And between having to deal with that and clean things up, and then the stench that she left in the living room area, we just couldn't sit down there. And so we have not watched Thundercats this weekend. And it's
No,
weird.
so we have watched nothing. So this is the end of the episode. No, it sucked because we're all set. We're almost ready to have our pancakes and Thundercats, and then
I went and saw her, and I'm like, this smells weird. And I looked closer. I was like, oh God, I gotta take her upstairs. Mike.
yeah. So unfortunately, there is no Thundercat recap. Hopefully next weekend we'll see what happens. It is Mother's Day, so we might be a few weeks off of Thundercats, which will be pretty weird for y'all. I know you miss those weekly recaps.
It's very important, I know. No, next weekend we could probably. I mean, I like having breakfast and cartoons. So unless I make you watch Sailor Moon,
Yeah, it's Mother's Day.
I guess it is
weekend.
Mother's Day. I get to do that, huh?
For some reason, you get to call the shots on Mother's Day.
I know. What the heck? Jeez,
Maybe you should call your mother.
That is a good plan.
Right?
Yeah.
Just saying. All you is, if your mom's around, give them a call.
Yeah.
I'm scot-free.
I'm totally off the hook. That's why. So all of that love and attention can go towards me and my mom.
You ain't my mother.
Oh, damn it. I know. You got to help my son because, you need to cook for me.
No, I'll make him. He can cook. There you go. He can make you cereal.
Yep.
So,
he can make biscuits with you.
He can make biscuits. But yeah, so yeah, you know what? Next weekend is Mother's Day, so make sure you call your mammies.
So yeah,
and if you don't have your mammy, then treat yourself.
There you go. How nice of you.
Because you're special.
That's what you're gonna say?
What?
You get to treat yourself because you don't have any. I see how it is. You just work that in there. You're like, but
Hey, there's sensitivities here. Like, what do you know? I actually, because all I'm seeing everywhere is call your mother or this for your mother and all that. And I was like, man, all those that either don't have good relationships with their mother or don't have their mothers around, it's kind of like singles on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Right? You're just like, you're
like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do?
Right? So, hey, have a bath.
That's a very good point,
something. Actually,
for Valentine's Day. The idea, it's like, what if I can't celebrate the holiday?
Yeah.
Because in all reality, I do understand. I'm the idea of, I know it sounds callous when you say that, well, you're not my mom, so I'm not going to do anything for you, which is, when you say it out loud, he kind of came across like an ass, but whatever.
Oh, I'll do everything.
He'll do everything because he's awesome. But it is a good point. Like, it really should be more up to kiddo to do anything like that, right? And
I totally.
And it's one thing when he was younger for you to be much more involved. But
I always joke that one day I was just gonna take him to the store and just tell him to pick something out the shelf in the produce section, and he could give it to her.
Yeah.
Here's a potato.
Yeah.
Why am I getting a potato?
Can I at least have some fruit?
He picked him out. You will get a potato. You will love it.
I will love it.
You will bake it, and you will have fun. You'll be like, yes, I have a baked potato, and you suckers
potato.
don't. See?
Oh, I like it.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, now I just want a baked potato. You know how long it's been since we've had a baked potato?
Yeah, you never requested a baked potato, so I don't cook a baked potato.
Weird. Huh.
That's what happens.
Do you guys what do you like on your baked potatoes? Like, these are important questions. What do you like on your baked potato? You know what? I used to never, it was always just like an obscene, like, because I was a very unhealthy child, obscene amount of butter and then salt on the baked potato. Like just decimated. It was more butter than potato. I'm not going to lie. It's really nasty to think about.
So you made like baked potato soup.
It was just like mash the heck out of it. And it was like super buttery inside. And now, like, I actually like the taste of the baked potato itself, but I never would have had sour cream because sour cream was disgusting. But I'll eat the skin if it's nice and toasted now too. And like everything and all the actual nutrients of the potato, that's good, but not as much butter. And yeah. But we don't ever really make baked potatoes.
This is weird.
I know, right? Who knew you would talk about baked potatoes? You brought up the potato.
Well, yeah. Oh, I was thinking, hey, I was thinking about, because someone had asked us what our podcast was, and I was like, well, it's a little bit of pop culture, it's a little bit of toy collecting, it's a little bit of parenting, and it's a little bit of like relationship everyday blog almost. That kind of seems to sum it up, right? Like it's whatever we feel like rambling about. Yeah, it's a little bit those categories. Yeah. It's like how you make a latte. There's so much stuff in it. There is. And that's how you get to cup of rad. Yeah. A little bit of extra foam on top. Boom. Speaking of latte, I do want to try we have a little foamer thing, and we got to try that because we were getting like this oat milk creamer stuff that's supposed to foam, and I want to see if you can make a latte. I don't know. Okay, that was really random. Why? I said it earlier today. Fair enough. See, I make coffee by going to Starbucks. Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah. Oh, I told Kiddo that because he likes the vanilla frappuccinos things. And I told him that he needed to start because he earns money that he's trying to save for his video game. And I told him that
he could pay for at least some of the drink if he wanted one. And you should have seen the look on his face. Like
you slapped him.
I'm not going to do that. I'm thinking, well, I'm not going to keep buying you something so expensive.
Yeah, no. Hey, it's a good.
So he gave a little bit of it towards it.
You know, it's good for him to learn how it all works together.
But it was nice to put that in perspective for him. Like for him, he earns these. We give him Dragon Balls for doing chores and things throughout the week, and then he collects seven Dragon Balls, and he gets a little $5 coupon. And so I told him, well, you got to give me a whole coupon. And he just looked at me and 7 Dragon Balls worth. Like that takes him a while to actually get. And it was just like, wow, it's put that in perspective, and it's quite expensive.
No, and exactly. That's why I want him to learn, right? And it was hilarious because the other day he was just like, well, how come you got that, Dad? Like, how'd you get that? And I was like, because I work. Yeah. I go to work and I make monies. Yeah. Right? Like, then I can divvy out when I have a moment, you know, to... Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because we're trying to give him a way to actually earn something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what we want to do, is make sure that he learns the value of it, right? Mm-hmm. To see that it's not just like, well, new video game came out, I'm just going to rush out and buy it.
Oh, by the way, okay, right before we started recording this, I said something to him about helping him with something, and he turns and he starts telling me that I was being mean or something, and I told him, like, no, I'm not being mean or anything. He's like, no, you're not. You're actually, like, really the best mom. And he, like, sounds so sincere, and he starts telling me that we're just the best parents and we're super generous, and like, and I'm like, dude, what do you want? He's like, because you're the best parents and you're generous parents. And he just looks at me, he's like, I want Mario Maker 3 or Mario 3D or whatever. And I'm like, there it is. Generous parents would do that, he says. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not that generous.
Well, hey, he's getting the option. He's going to do some Lego trades this weekend. Yeah. So depending on what he gets ready in trades, he might earn... because we will do a buyback program off of his trade dollars. Yeah. So
it's funny though. He starts getting all like complimentary. I'm like, yeah, I don't trust this at all.
Right. There's something up.
So okay, so yeah, we didn't watch TV,
but we did watch a new movie on Netflix. Yeah. It was originally supposed to hit theaters. It went through a bit of a rough patch because Sony wanted to change the name to Connected, and once Netflix bought it, they were able to put it back to its original title, and it is called The Mitchells vs. the Machines. It is an animated family adventure produced by Lord and Miller, the guys that brought you the Lego Movie and also produced Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and shows like Cologne High, Last Man on Earth, the Will Forte one, not Tim Allen. That's Last Man Standing, Last Man on Earth. A lot of people get them confused, but please don't get them confused and watch the superior Last Man on Earth with Will Forte. And also the 21 and 22 Jump Street movies.
See, useless knowledge coming in handy.
Right. So they produced this here. It is directed by a dude that I don't remember his name, but the awesome fact about him is that he worked as designer and whatnot and director and all that on Gravity Falls, one of the greatest cartoons ever made, which is now on Disney Plus.
And cue that, you should go watch it.
Right. And also too, uncredited work by Alex Hirsch, the creator of Gravity Falls, worked as a punch-up writer on the movie as well. Mm-hmm. So,
and apparently the Miller family,
Mitchells,
because I was thinking Lord and Miller. The Mitchell family is actually based on
his family, the director's family.
Yeah. So his older siblings and his parents.
Yeah. So another fun fact: if you follow his Twitter and all that, you'll find out that Gravity Falls, the dance that Dipper does, the Lammy dance, was actually based on something that his sister made him do as a child. So that just makes Gravity Falls even more amazing to think of, that there's actually potentially other things in that show that are real life experiences. And then you find out that he put some other kind of real life spin on some of the stuff that is in this movie as well.
So it's interesting. It actually on IMDb, at least, it says co-directors. Do you know? It says Jeff Rowe and Michael Rianda?
So the Rianda guy is... So I don't... So...
Yeah, so I don't know how much he actually did or anything like that, so...
Is the guy that I'm talking about, Rianda.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much Jeff Rowe did.
Yeah, exactly.
They've always just promoted that
it was so it might have been a little bit of extra, so... okay, so the movie. First thing to say. What's your little snapshot of it?
I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to beat it this year for animated family movie.
He was laughing out loud. It was adorable.
It was hilarious.
It was such a good movie.
From start to finish. And I love that Sony has now taken the route, even with this, to allow creators to play like Into the Spider-Verse. It was different animation. It was glitchy. It looked different. It felt different. It felt fresh. Mitchell's vs. the Machines has not the same artistic style, but it's allowing the creators to play with the animation, and there's 2D animation slapped over top, and it's wacky.
Well, because the teenage, college age daughter that's in it, she makes films and YouTube videos and movies and everything, and so some of the scenes looked like something she would have made in one of her movies. Yeah, it has
the emotion would pop out as extra stickers or bursts of weirdness on it.
Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't just it was extra additional animation on top of things that was almost, it was like something you would read in a graphic novel or comic or something, almost extra like that. Yeah, and it was such a, it was refreshing and different.
Because as much as Raya was beautifully animated, it was very standard new age Disney.
Yes.
Right? It looks like Frozen. It looks like Moana.
It doesn't, it's a cool story, but it just looks there.
Right?
Yeah.
That you point at it, you're like, that's a Disney movie, right?
Yeah.
And where this just felt very different and very fresh for them, because it was kind of looked like that Peanuts movie that came out a few years back. Because it was kind of shaded slightly like that. Yeah. Right? But it just, it was nice to see them get to kind of play a bit with it. Yeah. And also, too, the characters didn't have the standard animated, big noses that seem to be huge in animation now, right?
Okay,
where it's everyone's got that big bulbous round nose, right?
They were very unique looking and very complete in their animation as well, not just simplistic style. There was a decent amount of detail as well. So it was, and I love the characters, the way they were portrayed. They were just such a different story. They felt so real, but at the same time, the story is so. It seems so science fiction and so out there, but at the same time is very relevant and has a good message in it about our relationship with technology and how we push boundaries for it and how it consumes our lives. And
we're going to sit and have a family dinner and we're going to have
10 seconds of uninterrupted eye contact, and they all look like their heads are going to explode.
Yeah, and the one son's sitting there, his eyes are going all right. He's like, no, the father's like, you can blink.
It's not a
staring contest. I just want you not to look at your screen.
Right?
And Danny McBride plays the father, which was kind of cool because it didn't really sound like Danny McBride.
Yeah, I didn't realize it until the end. I was like, oh, that was Danny McBride. Yeah. So it wasn't his stereotypical...
Yeah.
Oh, it's him.
But one thing I did notice is that he did, you can tell that there were ones that worked on Gravity Falls because you could easily hear Grunkle Stan in the father's role. Yeah. With some of the way that the lines were even delivered. Yeah. Right? I'm surprised Alex Hirsch just wasn't the dad and playing Grunkle Stan. That's how it felt.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Yeah.
And then Maya Rudolph.
Yeah, she was the mom.
And she has an epic anime Hulk scene at the end.
It's so awesome because the brother, not the brother, the son gets taken by the robots, and she goes into super intense Hulk mom mode. Yeah, and she's just warrior mom. Yeah, she's just hacking and slashing everything. And
oh no, she's back!
Run away! Oh, good stuff. I don't want to spoil it too much, right? But it's just, it's awesome because it speaks to the relationship from all of them. It's not just like the drive of it is definitely the father-daughter relationship, but it speaks to siblings and a mom and a husband and wife, and just it has something for everyone.
It even made me think, just in the moment of watching it, is like, you know what? Here's the dad. The dad's very much the outdoorsy guy, is doing his own thing with outdoors and wants his family to enjoy all the outdoor stuff because he,
adventures and everything.
Yeah. And where then she's all about her movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they butt heads and they don't click on that and they don't pay attention to each other. And even just watching it, I was like, that seems like me and Kiddo's relationship, because here I am all about my toys and my comics, but all he wants to talk about is building in his video games and all his videos. And then we butt heads because he's like, hey, I want you to look at this. And I'm like, yeah, that's nice. Look at this. Or vice versa, right? Where
that's a good point.
I'm like, hey, dude, check this out. Look what I just did. And then he's like, yeah, but I just built this, right? It's that same dynamic. And it made me
they're
really...
always bickering.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's a common theme, and it made me think a little bit. So I was trying to be a little bit mindful today, even right after watching it, of paying attention more to him in hopes that maybe that'll
show a little bit of
back and forth, idea, right?
Yeah.
So
look at that. See, again, the reminder that animation is just a media and not a genre of story.
Yeah.
It can have levels of everything. Because, Kiddo loved it, too.
Oh, yeah. What was hilarious?
Because it's got ridiculous. Okay, I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a fan-freaking-tastic scene with Furbies. And Kiddo was hysterical.
Well, the line that he was quoting is in the trailer.
Okay, then we're good.
So,
because there's a giant Furby.
The Dark Harvest begins!
So we told him,
I want to do this.
I really do. I want to collect Furbies, and we're going to train them for a little while to say that. And then we're going to line them up around his bed, because there's a little because there's like a frame thing up high, and we're going to have a line of Furbies around his bed. And
I would love to be able to collect 10 Furbies and train them over a month.
To say the Dark Harvest.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. It'll be so
Dark
good.
Harvest begins.
Yeah. It would be fantastic.
Right? that would be, I would die a happy parent.
Yeah. Isn't it great when we're
it's just in that moment. I just
wistfully imagining how to terrorize our child
with a robotic AI toy.
These are the dreams.
Yeah, right. No, I had a good parenting moment though. He came home and he was like, "Hey, we have to take a song home to school."
Oh yeah.
And I want to do an Airborne Toxic Event song, because I know that they do stories, right? So then we were going through, and
this made him just the happiest dad right there.
Yeah, because that's my favorite band, right? And then he picked out one. He picked out Hollywood Park, because it also had to be safe for school, right? And being that it's grade 6.
Some of those are not really easy.
Because there was one of the songs that he picked. He's like, no, I really want California. And I'm like, looking at the lyrics, I'm like, well, she takes a sip and lifts her dress, and I forget the rest. And I was like, that might get flagged. And a few lines later, it was talking about pills wearing off, and I was like, yeah, maybe it's not explicit, but maybe we pick another one. So he's like, okay, let's do Hollywood Park, because I like that one. So then it's all about being at a racetrack and stuff like that. I was like, okay, well, yeah, that's fine. There was nothing questionable in the lyrics. But he picked that, and there was a good dad moment, right?
He was listening to he picked and turned Airborne on today while he was cleaning. It was so refreshing. I actually told him, I was like, thank you for listening to regular music and not
Mario,
not Mario themes.
Yeah, because that's where he's at. He listens to Nintendo music themes. He's graduated from Disney themes.
He told me that his life should always have a background track, which is why he sings Mario songs all the time.
Yeah, the other day, even in Toy Traders, we're walking around and he was bored, I guess. I don't know how you get bored in Toy Traders. So, but all of a sudden he started going,
right. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
He's like, well, it's the Ghost House theme. I'm like, they literally have music playing.
He's like, but this would be like what if you're being haunted by the
boos. And I was like,
but I'm not.
So
yes, go Airborne. I mean, right? I love that he's actually
Well, he was listening to it on the way home because apparently he needs to listen to music on the walk home from school, his 10-minute walk.
He's bored in the neighborhood if he doesn't listen. The first time he didn't have data anymore on his phone. And he's like, he texts me and he's like, I'm bored. I'm like, what? Well, he used to have like videos. I don't know. Okay, good. So he used to stream YouTube videos when he walked home. Dude, no, you're fine. Just get home. Like, look at the trees. I don't know. Well, I'm like, dude, I'm working. Oh, okay, fine. Like, I was supposed to entertain him to talk to him on the way home from school. Good gracious, child. But
he was listening to Airborne and he realized that the beat of Hollywood Park sounds like horses running, right?
Yeah. It was cool to have him hear that. You know, realize, well, because I told him, like, you know, it's not just the lyrics that tell the story. The music also tells the story, right? Because, they're learning about all the different ways that that you can express a story.
Yeah.
So
that was a good moment. But, okay, so with the Mitchells versus Machines, Kiddo was very stuck on wanting to watch the Mighty Ducks.
Yes.
Right? And I was like, okay, well, we're going out, so we're not going to have as much time the next day, so we'll watch Mighty Ducks on the next day. After dinner because, we have time, right? And he was just like, he was dead set. It was, no, Dad.
We have to watch the Ducks.
It's Friday. We have to watch the Mighty Ducks. And I was like, well, we don't have Winter Soldier, so it would be really quick night, right? Like, So then I showed him the Mitchells vs. the Machine trailer. And first it started and he was just like, I don't know. And then by the end of it, he was like, okay, we're going to watch this. And then his thing was, this was hilarious and epic. And oh my goodness.
Yep.
Right. So I was like, see?
God knows.
Gotta trust this old man.
I know, right?
Gotta trust once in a while.
Oh, it was so good. It was because it was a commentary on our world, on an adult perspective, on our attachment to technology and Wi-Fi and the habits.
Why won't someone take a picture of my food? Will you take a picture of my food?
I think that's a line that he has quoted so many times because it's so funny because, like, we fall prey. I post pictures of food too. Yeah. Right. But it was like the Wi-Fi dies and she looks like she's having a nervous breakdown, running around with a plate of food, like screaming for someone to take a picture of the food. And it's just so funny because, and that's the thing that's great is that, it's that humor, again, of being able to laugh at the ridiculous things that we do. Mm-hmm. I'm not offended by it. Yeah, and I turned around and took pictures of my food today. Yeah. But it's still this is ridiculous when you think about it.
Yeah.
And such a good movie. I highly, highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, and it's a family film, too. So it's totally something that you can watch with your kids, because there is a lot of the color and the ridiculous humor.
And the dog.
Yeah, Machi. It makes it funny.
The robots.
Yeah.
It was the two robots that kind of break the programming are Beck Bennett, right?
Yeah.
And
Fred Armisen.
And they're hilarious.
And Beck plays a lot of the robots.
Yes, he does.
He's the main robot voice.
Yeah.
So, and that was Launchpad from DuckTales.
Yeah.
He's in SNL, so
good voice there.
Yeah. So totally a great film to watch because it was just a breath of fresh air and a much needed humor.
Yes.
Right. So totally worth it. So the Mitchells versus the Machines on Netflix.
So before we dig into the other movies, I forgot TV wise, we finished Invincible.
Yeah.
Because they switched it and have been dropping it on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Because of, I think they did it the week before because of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale.
Yeah.
We don't know why because it still says every Friday.
It's just like the surprise. Thank you.
It's like, by the way. So the finale of Invincible.
Season finale. So they've been renewed for 2 more seasons.
So, I mean, this show has always been brutal and it hasn't shied away from the violence by any means. I am, not super easily, deterred with violence. I can handle a decent amount of it. This was horrifying.
Her face was amazing when it went down.
There was actually a point where I was a little nauseous and super squeamish, and I kind of just I'm surprised I didn't start crying with emotion.
Yeah,
because of it being his son. It was so horrifying. I mean, if I take that out of it, kudos on them for just being so in your face about it. Mm-hmm. And it was beautifully animated, but it was just, oh my goodness.
Well, see, it also showed you the reality of when two gods battle within a city.
And
watching like the glass and stuff just slice through the people.
Okay, so then when Omni-Man punches him and he goes like creates an asteroid out of his sun, and this meteor comes and slams into the city, and then this building falls in half, and he isn't able to save everyone. I mean, he
saves no one.
And he has his arm, and he, it's so many people would have died. They put it on the news too. Thousands of people had died. And just so intense.
Right? Like that was a good way to start a season finale.
Yeah, I was just in shock.
Yeah. I do enjoy
you look so satisfied too. You're like, I was waiting for this.
Oh, I was waiting for I was wondering, I was sitting there waiting for when you get to find out Omni-Man's full betrayal.
Holy shit.
And just
and like the way he just switched and started talking about his past, and like you find out all the truth, and it was so much worse than I thought it was going to be. Like, it was already bad because you knew something was wrong, and you knew he had made the decisions by himself. You knew he wasn't being controlled, but you didn't know the end game, and it was just so much worse than I could have imagined. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. The episode was amazing, but seeing Katie's face was even more amazing. Like, that's one of the ones where you wish we had live streamed that thing just to watch her face and her reaction when that happened, because usually she doesn't have like extreme reactions.
Yeah.
But it was like the jaw.
My hand was just covering my face. It's just like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I don't think they could really do it live action with that level of brutality. No, right?
They wouldn't be able to get away with an R rating with that level, because there'd be there's so much death, right?
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm totally down on Invincible. Like, that's just, I kind of want to reread the series again. Yeah. With it, but yeah.
So it'll be, it was interesting for sure. That was brutal.
But yeah, it's a good time to be a superhero fan, because there's a lot on there on everything, and Amazon's definitely becoming the place for
brutality,
the violent shows for superheroes. Right. I'm curious to see with next month Jupiter's Legacy coming to Netflix. See how that'll fare. That's Miller versus Miller World, or whatever they call it. And then, is it June? Sweet Tooth comes out on Netflix as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, we got lots of comic shows.
The only thing I care about in June is Loki. I'm so freaking excited.
Yeah.
I pulled out my Loki wallet today. I'm very excited. It's one of my favorite wallets.
But Invincible. I'm still waiting for toys. I really want to know. Like, I'm not sold on the Diamond Select. I'm curious to see if someone else is bringing them. Yeah. So
McFarlane.
I'm hoping. It only makes sense. It does. It's an Image comic.
Yeah. It's a brutal thing, a brutal character. Of course, McFarlane should be making it. Can you imagine a blood-covered one?
Blood splattered Invincible. Like he did Mortal Kombat blood splattered. So, I mean, it just Omni-Man splattered. Like, literally, you've got two. He loves his variants. Boom, boom, two. Right there.
You got like a swollen, like, face, like, blood splattered one, and be like all beaten out. Come on, just go.
Death, almost dead Invincible.
That was so brutal. Oh my God.
Puckered lip.
Anyway, so that's what we watched.
So now the main event. There needs to be fanfare here.
More blood.
We need someone to come up with like better Cup of Rad music than what we have. Oh, we need fanfare. You know what I actually wanted, and I couldn't find it because I couldn't get someone to make it. I wanted something like Star versus the Force of Evil. That's what I wanted for our theme. Yes. That like this, that weird, like,
that would be awesome.
Anime princess vibe. I don't know why.
Because it's amazing. So if you know someone who can make anime princess vibe music, hit us up.
But we need the like Fox fanfare feel like right now. Like, it's the main event. Dun, 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 dun.
So we need fanfare music. Dun, 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 dun. I like it.
Time for our feature.
See, who needs to pay for music when we have Mike?
Yeah. So, leather daddies and bloodsuckers.
Leather daddies, interesting.
That could have been the title.
Yeah, it could have been, but it's not.
Vampires in leather.
Leather daddies. Oh, that's a. You know what? I've just no. So I. I had never seen Underworld.
Yep.
So we decided, you know what, we
get those like emails that like, hey, you're part of this thing, so guess what's on, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I'd never seen it, so I'm like,
a whole bunch of vampire movies showed up on right? Crave and stuff like that.
So that's what needed to happen, apparently. I've watched it now.
Underworld, 2003, Kate Beckinsale, directed by Len Wiseman. He did Die Hard 4.
You know what? You want to know? You want trivia?
What?
I think I know why I never watched this movie.
Because you were young?
No. Because I disliked Kate Beckinsale.
Why?
Because you had a crush on her from Van Helsing. And
every man.
I know, and I don't blame her.
Every
person did. And I can say that now. Because, damn, she looked good in that movie.
It looked better in Van Helsing than she did in Underworld.
Very, very much so. But I was a jealous teenage girl, and I was not okay with it. And I can say that now because I realized that was the time.
That is like...
For the longest time, I hated her.
I'm going to say that's like the lamest excuse.
It was so stupid.
Irrational.
It's super irrational.
Chubby old Mikey here... Getting with Kate Beckinsale is like literally a hand dream. I
know. I'm not saying it's rational. It's completely ridiculous.
Like I would have to take like LSD to make that happen.
Okay, you know what? I know. But I'm trying to tell you that this made no sense, but I think that is the reason. Because for the longest time, I disliked her for no other rational reason. And it makes no sense because I completely understand your crush.
Yeah, like...
So... Damn. So, anyways,
it's only from Van Helsing though.
Oh, I know.
Anything else?
And that's it.
Like whatever. It's
right?
Like,
so
it's the really fake accent, gypsy accent.
Totally
and you're just like, yeah.
No, it's the corset and the boobs. Don't lie to yourself.
And the leather pants.
And of course,
tie it all back to the leather.
See, I just bringing up leather again, right? So, but yeah, that's the reason why it was a crappy excuse. But at the same time, it is what it is. So now we finally watched this. I know, right? Look at you actually learned something new. It's very rare to learn something new about me.
Share that to the world too.
I know, right?
That's like
irrational teenage fears.
Wow. Crazy.
It's impressive.
Crazy.
My irrational hatred of Kate Beckinsale for years. That's like a huge weight off my shoulders, and I can accept it.
I think we need to have someone contact Kate, and you guys need to have like a Zoom meeting to talk this out, because I'm sure she feels the same about you because of her hard longing crush on me. Some strange random Canadian boy that, thought she was hot in Van Helsing. She's just like, you know what? It could have been. We could have been something.
But, Katie was in the way.
Yeah.
I know, so right?
Maybe there needs to be that meeting and you can talk it out. Become gal pals,
You wouldn't benefit from that at all. See, look at this. How did this all end up in the gutter too? Anyway, the movie. So
you got vampires versus werewolves, yes. Or
Lycan, not werewolves.
Lycan. So it's basically like Romeo and Juliet.
It very much so.
So what did you think of it?
You know what? It wasn't a bad movie, but it was kind of a there movie. You know what? I've watched it. I guess a way to say it though is I don't really care to watch any more of them.
That was going to be my question after we watched talk about the next one. Like, would you watch more?
Yeah.
Which one would you want to watch the rest of?
Well, yeah. So, okay, we'll put a pin in that one. But yeah, like it wasn't, as I say, it wasn't bad. It was interesting and of her to be like, I liked the learning, like the culture they kind of created and the concept that they have like elders that they put to sleep and then wake them up and so they can keep them going
Keep
on.
them ruling.
Like they have like a reign and those types of things. So I thought that was an interesting concept.
This is not my time to reign. It's
Like-
Marcus's. That
What
was
did he
way
say?
more Arnold.
Like Arnold. But yeah, I like that it was a weird concept because normally you just think they're supposed to just live forever
Yeah.
and then they would die and someone else would take over. But so that was cool.
Yeah.
But it was kind of
Rewatching it, like I remember like being like, yeah, this is a cool movie back in the day.
I love the edginess of it though.
And
It's
like,
hilarious.
because
The music
it screamed late '90s, early 2000 leather. Like everyone wore long coats and
Yeah.
had guns.
It was all Matrixy too.
and
right?
yeah, the Matrix feel,
Techno feel.
right? And you're all like that, and blue filters, and
Mm-hmm.
watching again, I was actually this is full RADnesia moment.
Mm-hmm.
I was bored.
Yeah.
I was actually bored. Like
Because there's not really a lot of action in it.
no, there isn't. There's a lot of like talking,
Yeah.
and there's not a lot of blood. It's
Not very vampire-y. honestly.
No,
Like
no.
it's not horrific at all. It was more of a love story than anything.
and the R rating really came from just the abundance of F-bombs,
Yeah.
right?
I actually felt really sad for the Lycan leader.
Oh,
Like really bad for him. Like, I mean, I still don't quite like. I know he was a bad guy and he was causing this, but at the same time, the vampire leader was almost more the bad guy because he was the one that was betraying them and like
Yeah.
the werewolf wasn't really betraying anyone.
no.
I mean, the vampires totally used him and then, tortured him. And so you wanted him to win.
Well,
It was actually really sad.
the class system that is
Yeah, they had
always
created,
seen
right?
with between the monsters. The vampires
Vampires are
the
always
aristocrats,
yeah.
and the werewolves are always the bottom door.
They're always more of the servant, the blue collar
Yeah.
feel, right?
Yeah.
That's just how it's always been. They're and it's very much as vampires are portrayed as animalistic, the werewolves are always the animals out of the monster world, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there was some good points into it, but it really wasn't that exciting by
No.
any means. I was bored too. It was much more drama and
I was waiting for some like what I remembered. Like I remember like the shooting of the floor and the falling through, and then like when she like jumps through the air and slices his head off, and I was like, okay, those are the
that was amazing.
the two scenes that I remember from the movie.
Yeah.
From watching it, right? Or like when she jumps off the building. So those are the three things that I really remembered from the movie.
Yeah.
The rest of it was like watching a new movie feel, but it was like boring.
You're like, why am I watching this movie?
And it was like
So have you seen the other ones?
now I'm starting to think I probably didn't. So maybe I didn't like it as much as I thought I did.
Maybe it was just like, well, now I'm kind of wondering if we need to watch.
If we're supposed to.
We're supposed to. If we need to watch another one just to see, or if.
Well, the second one's not on anything.
Oh yeah, we can't. Huh? But yeah,
But yeah, it was really weird.
I kind of wanted to enjoy it more, just because it seemed like it could be interesting. But it's always been that one where it was like there, and I should enjoy it, but I didn't really like the darker movies at the time and everything because it also didn't make sense for kind of who I was back when it came out.
There was no fast cars.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I was kind of like, eh.
Yeah. So like it was a weird feeling of like this one did not live up to the rad expectations of what those
and what I was hoping it would.
right. So I don't honestly I don't really care to go and see and watch the other ones
Okay, then we're good. We got other ones
because I just feel like the rewatch of it didn't satisfy the nostalgia
So
to
then
say
what's the
like
point of
let's
it?
watch the rest. Like I don't feel compelled.
Well, you know what? The other thing too is It was interesting to watch the summary where it was like she falls in love with this guy that she's supposed to be, trying to hunt and everything. So yeah, there's this bit of this love story, but at the same time, it's not. You
No,
don't,
it
and it
happens
doesn't come
weirdly.
across that way,
Yeah.
right? It's like you don't really know why she isn't doing what she's supposed to, other than it's more of her like feeling jaded that she doesn't have control, and like her dad didn't approve of her, and it's more of that problem.
Yeah.
And it's like it doesn't really know what it wants to be. It didn't really have a depth to the story. You know?
No, and I don't think it's supposed to. I think it's supposed to be one of those like fluffy, like Sony movies from the early 2000s.
Yeah, because there was no real character development.
They were all trying to get the next X-Men. X-Men Matrix.
Yeah.
All the studios were trying to get those. Like that's
Weird.
Like that follows up with like your Resident Evils and stuff like that. Like they all were just like monsters and like gore and like rah, and how can we get all this stuff to you know, because when you look at it, it's like it's all that stuff just slammed into one. But it's like
package. As I say, there's no character development. I didn't care and feel connected to anyone except for the one guy who died.
Yeah,
like I felt bad for him, but there's still no real development. But you're the one. He's the one they have the most story out of.
Yeah.
So then we turned around and watched Blade.
Yep, because we figured vampires in leather, and
that showed up as available for us now.
It was Blade, and
I know I have seen it, but I couldn't really remember it.
Yeah.
So that was I was interested to see if I could remember a lot of it, and some of it did feel familiar, but I still have not. I never had that. Oh yeah, I remember this and this and this. So I don't know.
So this is a full Blade RADnesia.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes.
So I'm with
1997, 98 technically.
Your question of which one we're going to watch the second one of, definitely Blade. So I'm excited to watch Blade 2. I really this movie is talk about the lack of character development in Underworld. I cared about these characters, all three of the main characters. Mm-hmm. You also got development for the villain.
Yeah,
it was better acting. It was much better action. Holy moly, better action. It has a great hook at the beginning with this crazy party that you're watching a vampire movie, but you still are wondering what's going on.
Yeah.
And but then that has that shock value with the blood raining down, and it was just like, oh my God. And by the way, why is that acceptable? Because at the same time, if you put it in the terms of humans, like we don't bathe in our food.
But would you want to?
I guess it's a drink, I guess. You could say, would I want to what?
Well, but like what food would be acceptable to pour over your body and make out with someone else?
Nothing. I don't want any of my food on my body, I don't think.
Like, what if it was pancakes?
Just rub pancakes on myself?
Okay, maybe that's a little painful.
I'm trying to think of like a liquid, okay? So like the only thing with that is like a chocolate sauce of some sort, right? But I'm like,
there's no nutrients in that.
I know. I'm not going to put like beer on me or something like, or
smoothie.
Oh yeah, I want a Coke smoothie all over myself. It's going to be so hot or cold.
It would be definitely. Well,
but no, it's a weird concept, right? Like
cupcakes, raining cupcakes, making out with other people as you dance, smushing
while eating cupcakes. I'm not going to say that's the end of the world right there.
Yeah. There's a glint in your eye.
I want a cupcake party.
Naked
oh my God.
Cupcake parties.
I want a naked cupcake party.
From the sky.
Yeah.
Random 50 people coated in cupcake icing.
I don't know why we're all naked. I mean.
Because it's cleaner than with clothes on. If you're having cupcakes fall on top of you.
I want cupcakes, man.
See, now it's acceptable.
It's not acceptable. It's totally bizarre. Because the other thing you think about, like, what if you had soup? If you had tomato soup falling from the sky, would that be acceptable? No, because it's not. It's that weird thing that, like... It is not acceptable to have food pelting me in my face and be all excited about it rubbing all over me. It's just not a thing.
It's a weird thing that, like, vampires, when it comes to blood, it's supposed to be their food, but, like, they get, like...
But they also, like, bathe in it and, like... Yeah, they everything. Just want... It's just... Well, it's this...
It's like a drug, I guess.
Built into it all, right? And it's... Yeah, it's like they get all like feral about things, right? It's
but at the same time, what animal just rolls around in their food? Like food. You don't see bears like rubbing salmon on their body in the wild. Like you don't have like this bear going and scooping up like 20 salmon, throwing them in the air, and the rest of the bears run over and they're like, you know, this
You
bear
would know being
twerking
Canadian
with
at
a
all.
salmon between his bare cheeks.
Oh my goodness.
You're like,
What
it
is
doesn't-
happening? Conversations I never sentences added to the sentences I never thought I'd hear Mike say about a bear twerking with salmon between its paws.
But I'm just saying, like, you think about that.
I
Like,
know it's that. I mean, that immediately set off a whole line of questions, which apparently now have gotten even more expanded.
right? Like, it doesn't make sense. But I guess
The whole rest of the party made sense, and some of it would have made sense. Like at first, I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I can get behind it. It's going to be a little bit more like he's like, you know, you're all partying. You want a drink? Okay, have some drink. But then they're just like coated in it.
But I guess if people got like totally lit and you had like you cracked a beer keg and it was spraying, people would dance in it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Think of that.
I guess,
all
yeah.
on
If you're all
drugs.
on drugs, then people...
High as a kite.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spray beer or champagne. People
Champagne. They do that,
They pour champagne on each other.
Yeah,
So,
or Gatorade.
so football players are vampires. Got it. Got it.
Yeah. Okay, so now, anyway, on with the rest of the movie.
You know, I honestly, the more I watch this, you know, this here, as much as it was an older movie, it really did stand up, except for some of the camera shots and that gave it that 90s vibe, but the fast moving.
The worst scene in the entire movie was the super sped up chase scene.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was so bad.
But besides like a few things that were like just scream 90s, that and the CG, it actually was still a really solid movie.
I like some of the more arty feel. Like the drama itself that was in it wasn't boring.
No.
It was very thought-provoking and artistic.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed
and
that.
Wesley Snipes did a great job as Blade.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Well, as I say, those characters, you all had an investment in them.
Yeah.
You know, you all, like, it was super sad when Whistler died.
yeah.
Like, so sad.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And then the bad guy, he was a perfect vampire villain because he was sexy, but also like crazy.
Yeah.
And so it was that perfect blend, right?
Yeah. It was so awkward when like his mom was alive and
That
like,
was
she was trying to make out with him.
creepy and like trying to be all like sex vibes.
And then she was just like, "Well, your mom died. I'm born
kept
anew."
the way
And I was
it's like, no, you should not look at him the way you were looking at him.
No, Mama, no, Mama, no,
Right?
no.
Yeah, that was disturbing. So again, like learning about another take on a culture of vampires with it was with them too being, you know, the ones that were born and then the ones that were the purebred and the half you know breed and the ones that created and looking at them as they're less than things and like the science behind it almost. I like how they were talking about the fact that they actually feed on blood because they need the hemoglobin.
Yeah.
And more of that like gene, like it's actually a disease.
Yeah.
And that was an interesting concept, right? Because it's more of probably the reality of where vampirism and the mythology came from, of being some sort of disease, if anything, too, right? So everything's medical based, right? But,
You know, some of the original myths of vampires were the idea of like people that were either buried alive. And then they'd like, because like sometimes you like whatever you have, you go into like a coma and they didn't realize comas. So then like they'd hear scratching and all that and they'd open up things and like the guy had died, you know, suffocated, but they had scratched the inside. So then they go in there and they like stake him through the heart and cut off his head and put garlic in there and then close it up.
Yeah, wow.
Because it was all the unknown.
Yeah, exactly.
And they assumed it was vampirism or like the undead. So like they came up with all these like methods. And of course they stayed dead because they were already dead.
Right.
But
they assume that these methods are what actually helped them. And yeah. Well, even like garlic is very antibacterial, antiviral, and everything. It's a homeopathic, medicine as well. So it would make sense to maybe cure some bacteria or some sort of diseases that might be there or might have helped against them and stuff like that. But yeah, stake through the heart will kill most people. So you know,
and then chopping off their head and sticking garlic in their mouth, and you're like,
yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah, I still had a really good time watching Blade. Like, I wasn't really bored. The action was still pretty good. Like, it was that classic 90s, action style of like the kickboxing, like fights and all that. There was some corny lines, of course.
Oh yeah.
But it made me say, hey, you know what? Let's crack open the second one.
Yeah, like I'm definitely looking forward to watching more of it. Right?
Like that. And the second one's directed by Del Toro.
Yeah.
So that's even more fun.
You said the director of this one kind of there was some trivia that he wasn't a great person to work with, and he's just gone now.
Yeah, he I can't remember the guy's name that directed the first one, but he wasn't really prepared for the shoot, and there was lots of reshoots apparently on this, and there was some problems, and he ended up going on to direct the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen,
which was just a classic movie right there.
He got into full-on disagreements and arguments with Connery on set, and he apparently like quit directing after that.
It's impressive then if there was so many like stripes with that movie that they were able to continue on with the franchise then, so that's cool.
With Blade?
Yeah.
Because it was 98 for like 97, 98. I don't. Some things you could say that came out in 97, some saying in 98, so I'm not entirely sure.
Strange.
But they it wasn't until like 2002.
Oh, okay. So it was quite a delay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So Wesley Snipes originally wanted to play Black Panther back in the day.
Oh, okay.
And they couldn't get things off the ground with that. And then Blade came about, so he is that. I honestly think Marvel's going to have a interesting sell on their hands because, yes, there was that TV show a few years ago. It was on Spike.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember who the actor was that played Blade. It was really short-lived. Like, it was like only a few episodes.
Oh, okay.
But kind of like Hellboy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Wesley Snipes has become Blade, so it's going to be interesting to see what Marvel does to bring.
I can't even. The guy who played him was Sticky Fingers.
Yeah. That guy.
What a name.
You usually don't want to have sticky fingers.
No, it doesn't sound like a positive thing at all.
But yeah, I'm curious to see how Marvel's going to spin it to be able to make Blade into the MCU and make it like different enough, but accepting enough for people because I say like, it's one of the few movies that had a comic movie that had a trilogy.
Yeah.
Even though the third one is not good, it still was a trilogy of comic books back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
It's not old enough even to,
right?
Feels like if it had been older. I thought it was older actually.
Yeah.
So,
but I guess they successfully reintroduced Spider-Man without a lot of hiccups.
True.
So
it's just going to be a matter of really making sure that it does well and blows them out of the water without being too stereotypical or anything, right?
They already have a bit of, because they already said it's going to be PG-13, which I know, but at the same time I look at that and say, you know what, a lot of the Blade comics that we all read are PG-13. We just don't think it, right?
You know what's another thing I like about this?
There's
no romance. Yes. Positive mark on that one.
Hey, they tried with his mama.
Well, because I mean that would not really happen because unless that's definitely a unique situation because to have an adult man have a mom that is a vampire that is now the same age as him, that wouldn't be possible, right? Unless they were separated and like that's a weird thing, man.
Yep.
So,
but there are some cool shots in this movie though. I like the shot where when Chris Christopherson's Whistler is talking to the girl about Blade and all that, and the shots are actually done like from afar, and you've got they're like panning around, and you got the blurry stuff in the foreground, but it's still focused on Christopherson. It was just a neat way of seeing it because it would never, some movies, when they have like those deep conversations about because it was all about his life and when he lost his family and all that, sometimes they almost like focus so much on the face that it looks like they're almost like monologuing into the camera. But where the camera was on those shots was back further and never got in his face. They kept on like the side and stuff.
It was more like you were just part of the conversation.
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, and I thought it was really cool.
Witnessing
I was watching
the whole
that
scene. Not just...
it was kind of a cool way to do it. I felt like
Nice.
you really just kind of, I really enjoyed watching Blade again. Like it was a good time. Like I'm excited to figure out how to crack into Blade 2 because I had a lot of fun watching.
Yeah, I'm excited, especially with Del Toro. You said you really liked the second one.
Yeah, the second one's my favorite one.
So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens to him then with the change without having Whistler around and just kind of know what's going on, right? So yeah, I don't know when we're gonna watch it again, but
that was RADnesia.
There you go.
We have a RADnesia coming up.
Comedy.
Yeah, we decided we're going to do some comedies. I think we got a theme.
Yeah, I like it.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see if that theme comes true.
It's going to be comedies, and we're not going to commit to anything on...
Until it happens.
Yeah.
Until it happens.
See what happens. Because now I don't know how much is going to be next weekend because of Mother's Day stuff. So.
But we never even talked about? We talked about... but the Mighty Ducks episode was really good.
We could do a little snippet on it. It was so good.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. So.
Oh, no, we answered that question, so never mind.
Okay.
I was going to say, what out of the two RADnesia moments that are franchise-wise, what do you want to watch again? That was my question. That was my question.
And then, it was definitely Blade. Yes. Yeah. We're going to just forgo anything else to do with Underworld. So,
but the Mighty Duck Show, it's still going strong. It's still awesome, and it had so much heart.
This one was
episode.
Such a good episode.
So good. It actually was directed by the guy that created the characters.
Well, that's awesome. So the original team came back.
Some of them.
Yeah. But it was the 25th anniversary gala that they were going to have for the Ducks. So the original team came back and they had found out that Coach wasn't invited.
Because he didn't embody the values of the team. Yeah,
he wasn't the best representation of the team. And obviously, I'm glad he doesn't represent the Ducks now,
right.
Because and it was great because they still stood up for him. They thought he was just kind of cold shouldering them until they find out that he wasn't ever invited. And that's why he wasn't there. And he didn't want to, his pride didn't want to let any of them know. And so they go and they pick him up and they bring him there and they basically crash the gala and take the award from the current coach. Yeah. And it was just so heartwarming. Yeah. And so now he's actually asked to help coach.
Yeah. He's an assistant coach. So he's, but like 2 or 3 episodes after you had said
that it was a little bit, but even better growth with that. But then of course is it Alex? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's caused some strife now because he got sucked back into the smooth words of the coach of the Ducks. And so I'm interested to see how that will turn out. Because you called that one. They're just the Ducks players are just so mean and horrible. Mm-hmm. They're just horrible people. Yeah. And
well, it's but
they're following their parents, unfortunately, too.
Yeah, it's just the win-win-win. Yeah. At what cost?
At the cost of anything else, right? And so, such a good show.
Yeah, so I'm really enjoying that. Can't wait to see that goes on for a few more weeks. So that'll be super fun to see. So, thank you all for listening. Hopefully you come back next week and join us for
whatever it's going to be.
Comedy RADnesia. So stay rad.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. Want more rad content? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe, rate us, and leave us a review.
And remember, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes!